ASCAP is the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. They're basically responsible for making sure you, as the composer, songwriter, or beat maker, producer, etc., get paid for your pieces and your songs. How do they do this? First of all, they take a blanket license from the venues where your music is being played, and then later on they would distribute it according to the duration of your piece or the instrumentation. So how do they do this? Basically what they do is they take these blanket licenses that venues all around the US have to pay to have ASCAP members actually have their music played legally. So oftentimes I get this question, okay, why haven't I been paid? It's been so long. It takes a long time for ASCAP to pay you out, okay? Sometimes it takes a year, sometimes it takes 2 years, so you have to be patient, okay? But there is a specific award that we're gonna just about talk about very soon, where it's always distributed in January if you get one of these awards, and it's open to basically any writer member. The one caveat is that you have to make less than $25,000 in domestic royalties, which I don't know many people that make more than that. I certainly don't. So that is basically almost everyone is eligible for this award. So step number 1 is making sure that you're an ASCAP writer member. Very easy if you're not. Go down the description below and watch my video about how you can be an ASCAP member. And if you have questions, you can leave them down in the comments below. You see that I answer pretty much every single one of those comments. So go ahead and do that first. Step 2 is to log into your ASCAP writer account. It's very important that you log into your writer account because this is not going to work if you use your publisher account, okay? So make sure you stick to the writer account. If you've never been on this ASCAP website, you see that once you log in, there's your dashboard with your member ID at the top and your number of works in the middle. So you see I have 88 works there, so I already registered a bunch of works with ASCAP. The next thing you're going to do is head over to the left-hand side, click Works, and then click Plus Awards. And boom, we're there already. So right off the top of the bat, you see the award history. The next thing we have to do is make sure that one work is registered in the ASCAP repertory and that you've selected direct deposit as your default payment method. Okay, so that means they don't want to send out paper statements to you anymore. They want you to have your money directly deposited into your bank account. Of course, I have at least one work registered. You saw I had 88 registered. And of course, I have direct deposit set up. I mean, why wouldn't you? I don't want to receive all these checks in the mail. I mean, it's a hassle. It might get lost and boom, all those royalties are out the window. So continuing on, how awards are determined. So you need to make sure that you are in one of these genres: children's music, concert music. So I'm in concert music, classical, including orchestral, chamber, wind ensemble, concert band, choral, opera, electroacoustic, liturgical, and educational music. It spreads the gamut, right? Jazz, including works composed for individuals and small or large jazz ensembles. And the last category is musical theater. So you need to be writing for one or more of these categories for this award to apply to you. So now we get into the good stuff, how to apply to an ASCAP Plus award. So first thing you need to do, register all your music, right? The second thing is to activate direct deposit, which we've already talked about. And then the last thing is you need to apply by July 2nd. What happens next after that is once you apply to the award, you actually have to wait until January and then you find out whether you get the money or not. So for me, the most I got, like you saw, is $1,000, but sometimes it will be a little bit less. But trust me, this is gonna be less than probably an hour of work, especially if you're already an ASCAP member. All right, so let's just apply. Let's just apply. Enough rambling, let's just apply. Okay, here we go. Go to the left-hand side, Works. Hit Plus Awards like we did before. And I'm gonna go ahead and go to 2021. It says received, but I could see the application. So go ahead and click 2021 here. Now in the top tab, you see concert. So for you, it could be children's music, it could be jazz, musical theater, whatever. This is the division that you're going to apply as, okay? This is your main division. So for me, it's concert music. The next thing you're gonna do is list all the works that you composed in the previous calendar year. In this case, we're talking about 2020. So click on Works, and you see that I wrote 3 works in the past year, and they all have these ID numbers. That's because they're all registered with ASCAP. Very important. The next thing you're gonna do is the most important part of the whole thing, and those are your comments. So click here on these comments and you see I wrote a big paragraph and I'm gonna explain what this is all about. So it says here, list awards, honors, and other criteria that describe your activities and merits in the previous calendar year, including performances in audiovisual and electronic mediums. So basically what they want you to do is include all the other stuff that you did that doesn't really count towards residuals. So basically you can talk about anything you want. So let's look at what I wrote here. All my pre-COVID-19 symphonic recital and education performances from the 2020 calendar year have been reported to ASCAP through the performance notification portal. So basically what I'm saying is all my performances from January, February, March of 2020, these were already in the performance portal through ASCAP. So very important that I had to say that up front there. The next thing is I say the following in-person public performances were canceled due to COVID-19 in 2020. So I still want them to know that I had performances lined up even though they didn't happen, because it's important to know that things were at least scheduled, like your career was actually happening in some way. So important to showcase what pieces were going to get played. So I actually say in detail, Riot Ensemble performs My Vantage Point at Cardiff University in the United Kingdom, March 17. Basically, we're trying to say, what are all the musical things that you did in 2020 and jam them in here as concisely and effectively as you can. You want to be organized about this, because what's going to happen is there's going to be this independent panel of jurors that are going to read all of these very quickly, one after the other. So you want to be as clear and concise as you can be. The next thing I have is the following is a list of teaching activities. So I'm an instructor at Columbia University. I teach music humanities. So since this is music related, I'm going to include that as well. Very important. And the last thing, I have these paper presentations that I did at various conferences, all that had to do with music, right? So it's important. Everything that's music related that doesn't have to do with live performances, they need to be put in these comments. And once you're all done with that, all you gotta do is go to the bottom right corner. You see this blue button here. It's gonna say submit instead of withdraw for you. And then all you gotta do is wait until January and see if you get the funds or not. It's been a difficult year, and I hope that most of you can get this ASCAP Plus award money. It certainly has helped me over the years. It's not it's not a life-changing amount of money, obviously, but this literally takes less than an hour if you're typing away all this different information and you remember everything you did in the 2020 calendar year. It's very simple to do. All right, that's it from me. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.